We're really excited to have Padraig Harrington on board as one of our new SuperSpeed Tour ambassadors. As part of that program, we got to spend an entire day with Padraig, getting to film some great content and also collect a ton of data on how Padraig's creating speed and if there's any areas there where we can help optimize his speed training program. Now, we sent some recommendations to his team, and I want to show you some of the data that we collected on how he's creating speed and how we can further optimize his speed training program. Now, I think it's important to note that Padraig's been using a lot of our products here at SuperSpeed for nearly 10 years. So he's done all of our protocols, he's done a lot of other drills with our products, and he's still finding ways to get faster. Now, some of the things we're gonna look at in this video is how Padraig creates speed, and one of the things he does really well is creates lag with his arms and hands in the golf swing. We're also gonna look at how he uses the ground and how that influences his sequencing. We're gonna look at grip strength, and then we're gonna go through the actual programs that we've recommended to Padraig to really take his speed training to the next level and get even more speed out of his body. I told you Padraig creates a tremendous amount of lag in his golf swing. Let's break that down further, and I'll show you exactly how he does this to create a ton of club speed. Now, I've got his swing here pulled up in a really cool app called Sportsbox AI. This is going to allow us, off of just an iPhone video, to measure exactly how much wrist angle we have throughout the swing. It measures a whole bunch of other cool stuff too, but for now, we're going to focus really on this lead wrist angle. So let me go ahead and play this swing for you. You can see he takes a very wide takeaway. As he brings the club away, everything stays very wide. He gets a lot of extension here. Everything looks really good. And then as we start to transition, you can see the lower body start to transition a little bit toward the target, pressure shifting into the lead leg. You can see now he's going to create a ton of lag. Downswing loading of the club. You know, we're really looking at the angle between the lead forearm and the club here, and you can see that lead wrist angle is getting down into the mid 60s as he creates this downswing loading in his swing. That's a lot. This is really on the high end of what we see on the PGA Tour as far as lag creation, and it's one of the reasons that Padraig creates so much club head speed. Now, the next part of this is being able to release that lag efficiently into the ball to get the most swing speed. And he does that really well. As you can see, as he comes through, he releases that lag and gets a tremendous amount of club speed. I think this one looks like about 122 and a half. So this wasn't the fastest swing that we saw from Padraig that day, but it was definitely one that we would see as a typical norm when he's out on the golf course playing in an event. Now let's take a look at that from just a couple different angles. So here we go. Here's the lag again, you know, with this measuring that lead wrist angle from front on, kind of like what we saw. So you can see that compression of that angle as he transitions the golf swing, and it creates a lot of speed. What's very important to look at here, though, is that if we look at this from down the line, when he does this, it doesn't cause him to really change the plane of his golf swing. It doesn't create any issues with over the top or any of those type of things that you might see an amateur do when they create that much lag in the golf swing. So again, lag is a big deal for Padraig. This is one of his primary power sources, is creating this downswing loading of the club right before and during the transition of his golf swing. This is how he's creating 180 plus ball speeds, mid 120s club speeds, even over the age of 50. Let's take a look at how Padraig is using the ground in his golf swing to support the incredible club head speeds we're seeing. Now we're going to take a look at this on our Smart to Move 3D force plates, and we're really going to focus on a few of the keys that keep Padraig's swing stable and moving powerfully the whole way through impact. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this for you. This is just showing kind of the overall data here, showing his kinetic sequence. And you can see as he brings it back right about here, we get to a peak of lateral force moving, toward the target. It's also important to note, though, if you look at the lateral force that he's creating, he creates a lot of lateral impulse as well. So he's pushing toward the target a lot during the backswing. Like really, this whole point during the backswing, he's pushing toward the target, which I think is a big key for how he's able to create so much lag in his golf swing. The next thing that you're going to see is he's going to create a tremendous amount of rotational force between his 2 feet, with a lot of that kind of pushing on the lead side. Then we're going to see kind of a peak in vertical here. You know, if anything, I'd like to see that vertical peak a little bit earlier, and that is something that in his ground force program he is working on. But overall, a lot of power coming through this swing, a lot of power working through the ground. Let's take a look at a couple things in a little bit more detail here. Let's first of all look at this kind of lateral force piece that we're talking about. So I'm looking here at trail leg lateral force. And if I can show you right in this point, this is what I mean by a lot of impulse. So all of that area under the graph there is time where he's pushing his body, pushing on with the trail foot pushing toward, or he's pushing away from the target with this ground reaction force pushing him toward the target. So it technically peaks here, if we look at it, about right here in the swing. So really almost even during the takeaway, but all of this is really pushing him, you know, toward the target right there. That's a big deal for his golf swing. I told you that he creates a lot of rotational torque in his swing. So we're looking at this rotational torque right around this point, you know, so that's kind of like after transition. This is right around the point where he's maxing out the lag in his golf swing, but a tremendous amount of rotational torque. As far as vertical force goes, I'm just going to pull a couple of these out here and just look at lead leg vertical force. When I look at lead leg vertical force, you know, that's peaking definitely before impact, and he's creating a significant amount of lead leg vertical force. This is another one of the keys that helps Padraig really create lag in the swing and then release it very quickly right before impact. So I hope this takes a little bit more look at how he's using the ground. You know, the things that we're really looking at trying to see more of in his swing is, again, that lateral force during the backswing helps him a lot. Maxing out what we would call his superpower, which is rotational torque in his swing, getting even more of that, and getting vertical force happening even a little bit sooner on his lead leg to really support that release and maximum energy transfer to the golf ball. Another key to Padraig creating a lot of club head speed is his grip strength. Padraig has a ton of grip strength, and this helps him in many ways stabilize the golf club throughout his golf swing, especially with the amount of lag that he is creating in his swing. Now, Padraig has a lot of grip strength. Even compared to players on the PGA Tour, Padraig would be in like the top 20%. He has an average of about 62 kilograms of grip strength, with a little bit more on his lead hand, where he has 64.5 kilograms of grip strength. And that's a lot. You know, most amateur players that we've tested are lucky to have half of that amount. So this helps Padraig a lot with a number of different areas throughout the swing, but one of them is definitely creating power. If we take a look at the way Padraig is actually using his grip strength to pressure the grip during the golf swing, we're going to see some really cool points. So this graph that you're seeing here is showing his lead hand in red and his trail hand in green throughout his golf swing, showing how much grip pressure he is actually creating. And you'll see that Padraig, from the very start of his swing, you know, creates a gradual amount of grip pressure to get the club started, and then it kind of, you know, goes down just a little bit until he gets here toward transition of his swing, or the top of his backswing, when you're going to see that ramp up in a pretty significant way. This is right before he starts to create that tremendous amount of lag in the first part of his downswing. And you can see that he's already using 76% of his max on his lead hand at this point in the swing. And that's pretty normal. This is what we see with a lot of players, especially those who create a lot of lag, because as that club's starting to change direction, they're having to apply force into the handle of the club in order to make it happen. Now, what you're going to see in Padraig is as he gets to that point where that lead arm's horizontal in the downswing, this is where he's getting close to that maximum point of lag in his swing. He's actually right around 99% of his max on his lead hand. Now, Padraig uses a lot more pressure on his lead side than he does on his trail. He's at about 61% of his max on his trail hand. Again, for players that have that big downswing loading look in their golf swing, this is very typical. We see a lot more pressure in the lead hand than we do in the trail, but overall, we see a lot of grip pressure, them using a significant percentage of their max throughout the entire swing. Now, as we get down through impact, you're going to see Padraig, it's gone down a little bit here compared to that peak point. Some players will see it actually go down a little bit more, but he's also, and he'll talk about really trying to release the club and maintain pressure down through impact. So this is something he's trying to do in his swing. I'm really looking forward to seeing Padraig in the US Open this week, needing to get through those deep rough lies that are classic in this type of a tournament. His grip strength is going to be a huge asset to his ability to do that and really take advantage of some of those opportunities when other players might have to just be punching out. Here's an overview of how Padraig's using grip strength in his golf swing. This is definitely something that you can work on to improve the efficiency and speed and power of your own golf swing. Let's take a look at the 3 programs that Padraig is using to really optimize his swing speed. The first one is a program all about ground reaction force. So this is going to have a number of different drills that are going to work on some different aspects that help optimize everything else in Padraig's swing. This program is going to go through a number of our drills that we use in a lot of our protocols with SuperSpeed, but it's also going to involve hitting golf balls. And I think that's an important part here, because when we're really working on some of these mechanics of the swing, we want to be applying it to hitting golf balls at the same time that we're trying to develop these feels. The first drill here that we have is our step back drill. Now, this is a great drill that we use to help develop lateral force in the swing. It involves starting with your feet together, and then as you're swinging the club back, stepping back with your trail foot and planting. This works on getting point of application more toward the inside of the foot and really optimizes getting lateral force happening earlier in the golf swing. We're then going to do some things to also get that feel of lateral force with our trail foot. Then we're going to move on to our step change of direction swings, which are going to start to apply that almost in the opposite way, where we're using this lateral force to then transition, sequence the lower body a little better, and get pressure onto the lead side sooner. Then we're going to start to work on the real application and point of application of force on that lead side, trying to get more force through the ball of the lead foot. Then we're going to start to apply this. We're going to start to do some things where we shift weight back and forth with a drill we call a rocker drill, where we're going to be shifting weight from the lead side to the trail side back and forth as we're moving through that golf swing, and finally doing that with just actual golf swings. So this ground force protocol is one that we recommend that Padraig does before he does his overspeed training, and also before he would do his ball speed application program. The next one is going to be the actual overspeed training program. And again, as I've said before, this is a little bit different than the way we're going to do some of our protocols, because Padraig's been doing this program for a long time. Now, it's still going to look similar, because it's going to start with our normal stance swings. It's going to move to our step back, then our step change of direction. But then it's going to get a little bit different, because we're going to add in that C club sprint. Really, that sprint drills out of our level 4 protocol for our overspeed training. But for him, we're going to do that with our C club. All of these drills we're going to be doing on both sides, so both dominant and non-dominant. And instead of just finishing with that light club max out, for Padraig, we're going to be finishing with a variable max out, where he's going to be able to do that with any of those different clubs to try to get personal bests with any of those on that given day. Now, his ball speed application protocol is actually our level 3 ball speed application protocol that we're going to be launching here very soon at SuperSpeed. It's not going to involve that many swings. It's going to involve 3 swings, dominant only with the red club, really just to trigger the feels that we're looking for with the ways using the ground and maxing out speed, hit shots. Then we're going to max out with that SuperSpeed C club. Then we're gonna hit a couple shots, take a break, and then we're gonna do our 3-strike ramp up drill. This is a really fun drill where basically if your ball speed doesn't go up, you're gonna get a strike, and when you get to 3 strikes, you're out. So get ready to look for some of these new protocols coming out soon from us at SuperSpeed, but I wanted to really take this opportunity to let you see exactly what Padraig's doing to max out his swing speed. In order to do the programs that Padraig is doing to optimize his speed training, you're going to need 4 of our products here at SuperSpeed Golf. The first is our 3-club overspeed training set. Now, this is the core of everything we do at SuperSpeed, and we use these clubs not only in our overspeed training protocols, but also in our ground reaction force protocols and in our new ball speed application protocol. So it's really key that you have our 3-club overspeed training set. Now, it's also great to have a PRGR launch monitor, because in order to see how fast these clubs move, you need something that can measure your swing speed when you're not hitting a ball. This becomes an incredibly important learning tool in conjunction with our 3-club overspeed training set to get the most out of this training. Now, the other great thing about the PRGR is it'll also measure ball speed. So when you're doing our ball speed application programs and hitting balls, you can also see ball speed and do our great 3 strikes you're out drill. 2 other things that Padraig's using in his protocols are our SuperSpeed C Club. So that's our counterweighted SuperSpeed club. And the SuperSpeed C Club is key because this one allows you to move this club really fast and apply speed at impact with your arms and hands. This, I feel like, is a great piece to add on to that set, because that's where we lose a lot of speed, is making sure that we get that speed happening at impact. The last thing that Padraig's using is our SuperSpeed Squeeze. And he's using the squeeze to optimize his already strong grip strength to really make sure that he can use this speed out on the course, get through those deep rough lies, and continue to maintain a high level of grip strength. Now, these products all work together very well and work together with all of the different protocols that we use here at SuperSpeed. So if you want to train like Patty, you're going to need all 4 of these products. I hope you enjoyed this look under the hood at Padraig Harrington's swing and his speed training program. We've got a lot more content coming out about Padraig, our other tour ambassadors, and a whole bunch of brand new protocols that we're going to be releasing very soon. So make sure you subscribe, follow us on all of our social channels to make sure you stay up to date with everything SuperSpeed.